All right, welcome back to the Elias Macko Show. Let's talk tech with the one, the only Mitch Joel. He's on the Zoom line. Hi, Mitch. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to see you, Elias.
Okay, a couple things I want to get to this morning with you. First things first, the major changes that Google announced to the humble search box. It's no longer just a tiny box here. Let's talk about the how and the why of these Google changes.
The big thing to understand is we're looking at a quarter of a century, 25 years since we've seen anything change. I mean, they have protected that little home screen box to the nth degree with tons of products that have come over a quarter of a century that people have loved, from maps to whatever, and they've
Yeah.
kept that box the same. Clean. They've never really run ads there. They've done some testing, but nothing of significance. And now they are, quote unquote, expanding it. And I would say that this is much more than an expansion. This is a complete implosion, I think, of everything we've understood about the internet. And I think it goes beyond AI in terms of Google trying to define that it works, and more towards it trying to make AI somewhat unavoidable. And by doing this, it is just going to upend everything. Just think about the ability to have a box that is maybe much bigger than a box, maybe more like a rectangle now, and you can
Yeah.
put anything into it, and it will not just find you an answer, but build things for you, from calendars and schedules to maybe even potentially apps and videos. And suddenly you're not looking at a world where it helps you find something. You're in a world where Google is doing it now for you across any task you might have.
And the way people are writing differently now into the search boxes, right? Like people are writing because they want an AI response. They don't want a list of links. That's the other thing that's changing here is that, and I know a lot of publishers are not happy about this. I would understand why. But people don't even want that list of links. They just give me the answer, Google chatbot. That's what they want now, it seems.
When you type something in and you get the results page, people are now intuitively defaulting to the AI summary page, which is now going to be the default of the system and engine. So we are seeing that habit. By the way, my perch is very different. Back in the early 90s, I was one of the first people working in search, at the time mama.com here in Montreal. But this was
Wow.
before Google was even there. And we would look at things like the motion of how people search. So they would go from one word to multi-word to sentence to question. We were a part of that. So people would just type in the word car. Can you imagine typing that into a search engine?
that's
Beyond,
that's
and by the way, you
amazing.
would type in car Montreal and there'd be nothing because
Yeah.
there was nobody to index. So I've been there from that whole transition to where we are now, which is the idea of even not typing in a very specific question and hoping for that answer and then maybe validating it through those search results is where we're at. But the idea being of why even have search results, have it just generate the answer. Now, imagine a world where it's not just a gatekeeper to information, but it's creating the information. And again, we're talking about search, but we have to understand there's Gmail, there's Google Docs, there's Android, there's
Mm-hmm.
Chrome, the browser, there's Maps, there's YouTube, there's all of the cloud, all of these developer tools. We are moving into a very different quote unquote internet, where the internet might in and of itself just be Google.
Well, it sounds like you're making the antitrust case for the regulators, Mitch, as you outline it that way. I'm like, man, they do own a lot here. The other side of this, right? They kind of want to make these searches that you do be living and breathing things. Like in the background, they'll continue to search even after you've left the page to keep you in check. Well, let's talk about that change that's coming to Google search.
The important word there is agent.
Mm.
These are AI agents. So if you think about search or a chatbot as something that returns an answer, the agent will act. So that fundamentally shifts things because the stakes completely change, right? The system's no longer just giving you information. It could actually be searching, buying, booking, creating, coding. I could go on and on of the things it will actually do for you beyond what you type in, because you're essentially saying for it, go and do this for me. Go and find all of these flights, maybe even book them, because now you're already linked to my credit card. My passwords are already there as well. This is a whole new world where it's not just doing information for you, it is acting on your behalf, which is why we have these agents.
So I want to move on here because all of these agents and everything that Google is doing is going to require a lot of data and a lot of energy to power the data centers. And there is a growing anti-AI data center movement. We're seeing it on both sides of the border, by the way. We're seeing it in the US, we're seeing it in Canada. And I want to ask you, what do you make of these communities? By the way, there's polling out. Gallup has polling. 71% of Americans oppose having an AI data center built in their local area. What do you make of this, Mitch?
Well, what's most interesting to me about these results from Gallup is that the actual result is completely bipartisan. The opposition is not political at all. And so you do have a world where we all want and love the magic of AI, but obviously fewer people want or even understand the machinery of what this infrastructure takes. And so this very much falls into what people might know as NIMBY, not in my backyard. And that's exactly what's happening here, because what we're realizing is in order to get to this great place that we're being promised, it's a lot of land, it's a lot of water, it's power, it's chips, there's cooling systems, there's the transmission of making it happen, there's the carbon. And then you start following into obviously the local politics. Up here in Canada, we would be dealing with Indigenous issues as well. Utility bills, people are wondering where their power is going to come from if they need all this power to power these things. They are big, massive infrastructures that don't just sit quietly off of a little pad from, let's say, a strip shopping mall that's unused. I mean, this is massive. Imagine those big hydro stations you drive by every other, if not a multiple of that size, I should say. So this is becoming the interesting thing in terms of social and culture of us as people is, do we want this technology? And if we want this technology, will it be this NIMBY? And by the way, here locally, great analogy would be the safe injection sites. People don't want those. We have those conversations all the time here. So do they want data centers too? Like, it seems like they...
I don't. So I'll be honest, Mitch, like I don't think of safe injection sites and AI data centers in the same breath ever.
Not at all. But the NIMBY idea,
not in my backyard.
Culturally big,
Okay, well, I differ there because I want data centers. I don't want, anyways, I guess a difference of opinion because I don't want those safe injection sites anywhere. Whereas I'll take the data centers.
But culturally, it's in the zeitgeist. We're talking about this more than we did in the past, where it was just built and done, and we didn't have conversations about it. It's becoming hyper politicized and hyper community driven.
Let me throw one thing at you. It's not lost to me that Elon Musk is adamant that the future of these data centers is out there in space, like solar powered in space. So I guess they don't have to suck on the local resources in the area. But the other part of this, there is, I want to be timid here because I don't think there's all the evidence in the world. But there has been some evidence that there's a push from China to sway public opinion in North America against data centers so that China can just run away with it in the AI race. What do you make of that? Do you think there could be any truth to that so much of this anti-AI sentiment is coming from people that want to take the lead ahead of the US?
There is no doubt that in this world, the fine line between disinformation and conspiracy theory and what can sound kooky and crazy is very, very real. And there is no doubt that when it comes to foreign countries that can sway the public opinion, these are some of the easier ones for them to sway. All they have to do is start putting in information, saying things like, hey, your electricity bill could go up. Hey, you have water supply issues, or who's going to pay for upgrades, or should your tax dollars be going to fund these multi-trillion-dollar companies? Any one of those questions in any party format with friends and community would create the sense of, I should probably look into this. And any ability to create that is going to create dissension. And so this is what I mean by there's this normalization of fighting these things. And so it's somewhat easy at these scales to say, well, do you want trillionaire? Do you want to be funding with your tax dollar trillionaire dreams here? I mean, just even that question alone.
And listen, I have the counterpoint too, right? Like if you look, the cleanest, most environmentally friendly, the most beautiful places, the places where the environment is well off, are rich places. Wealthy countries have great environments. So the argument we made, if you get wealthy because of AI, the environment will only get better, not worse, because you'll have the money to pay for it. But I digress on that front. Mitch, I got to leave it there. You come back real soon.
Thanks, Elias. Have a great day.
Tech advisor, investor, and author. That's Mitch Joel.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.